All right, guys, everyone's first question is, what are you doing here? What's this module, and why am I taking your time right now, right? So in April, right after your Easter holiday break, your spring recess break, I think the actual days are the 13th and the 14th. You're going to be coming here to the high school, and you are going to be taking what is called the Utah Aspire ACT Plus test. I know that's a mouthful. You're taking a test at the end of the year that is designed to do a couple of things. First of all, it's designed for the state to look at how much you learned, how much you grew from last year. For you, it's designed to give you a practice ACT experience. Utah used to give a different test, which I wasn't I wasn't a big fan of it because it gave the state a lot of data about you and what you knew and how much you grew, but it really didn't do much for you. There wasn't a lot of benefit on your end. This test is a very different experience. It is written by ACT, and it's written to look and feel and test like the actual ACT test. And most of you are familiar at this point that the ACT, your scores there help you determine what colleges you can go to, what kind of scholarships you can get, what classes you have to take in college. And you don't really get to practice for that test very often. This is an opportunity for you to do that. The benefit to you is you get to see what the ACT looks like. You get to practice questions that the ACT writes. You get to experience a little mini version of what you're going to do next year when you're a junior to help you get ready for college. All right. So April 13th and 14th here at the high school in your regular classes, there is a science version, there's a math version, and there's 2 language arts. There's just your normal, typical language arts stuff, and then there's also a reading and response question section of the Aspire test, okay? Now, this is meant for 10th graders. You took a similar test in 9th grade if you were going to school here in Utah, and if you chose to take that test. You take it on the Chromebooks. Like I said, it's built within the ACT's testing program, so it looks almost identical to what you're going to see on the ACT test. The navigation, the buttons, the tools, the layout will be very similar to what you'll see next year. All right. Now, why are you you're taking the test, but why are you here? What is this module all about? Now, I really like these types of tests. I'm sure you're sick of me talking about them, but I think it's good for you to kind of get an idea of how you're doing, kind of gauge your learning, gauge your progress towards goals that you have set for your future, right? And this is an opportunity for you to do that. Now, the end of level test is meant to reflect what you know, all right? They write these tests because they want to know what you learned and what math you can and cannot do. The problem is going into these high stakes and end of level tests has an effect on some of you. Some of you, it makes you nervous. You get anxious, you get worried because you're getting put in a testing situation. And that itself can add some anxiety to your performance. It can make you perform lower than you should. And that's kind of what this module is all about, is I want to help you prepare for the test. I don't want to teach you math. I've been doing that all year long. I'm not here to teach you how to factor a polynomial or how to find the zeros of a function. I'm here to teach you how to prepare for the test that you're going to take. Because what I want for you is a test score that represents what you actually know. All right. When you go in to take this test, you're going to miss questions. Absolutely, it's going to happen. I want you to miss questions because you don't know how to do the math. I don't want you to miss questions because you were nervous and you were anxious, or you read the problem wrong because you were trying to go really fast, or you answered the wrong question, or you didn't read the directions. If you miss a question, I want it to be because you didn't know how to answer the question, not because you made a mistake at taking the test. So this module is going to teach you a couple of things. We're going to start by setting a goal, kind of what you want your outcome of the test to look like. And then we're going to talk about some test taking strategies, some things that you can use while you're taking the test to make sure that you are answering questions that you know how to do, and make sure that you're not making some common mistakes that happen on this type of test. And then we're going to talk about one of the biggest aspects of the test, which is what it looks like, what it feels like, what the buttons do, all those characteristics of the test itself. You're going to spend some time within the testing program getting familiar with the program, what the buttons do, what the calculator looks like. And then you're going to make a little plan for going into the test. You're going to plan how much time you're going to spend on each question, when you're going to stop trying and move on to the next one. And you're going to set yourself up so that when you go into the test, you know what it's going to look like. You know what the questions are going to look like. You know how to use the tools of the test. And you have a plan for not only what you want to accomplish, but how you're going to get there. All right. So without further ado, you start working through the module. Reach out to me when you have questions, because they'll come up. But when you do, reach out, let me know. But things are designed for you to be able to work through a lot of this kind of at your own pace. Some of you might get this done in an hour or two, and others you might have to spread it out over a few days to get all the way through the material, which is fine. That's why it's set up the way that it is, so that you guys can work at your pace and make sure you accomplish what you need to.